Today in the crypto space, we see the market coming down. Bitcoin at about 26,000, down approximately 4%. And Ethereum right around that $1,600 mark, down approximately 3.5%. The rest of the crypto space is pretty much waiting for Bitcoin and Ethereum. So far, we're coming down to those lower levels and we should be preparing to buy those dips. In today's video, I want to talk about the general market. I want to use Bitcoin as a leading indicator, but more importantly, I want to talk about one altcoin that many people are talking about, and there is definitely some bullish hype with regards to this project, and the project is called Hello. So you know what? Let's talk about the news, let's analyze the charts, and let's strategize to capitalize. Welcome to the channel. My name is Mike, and let's get right into it. Guys, if you're new to the channel, welcome. On the channel, we talk about cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all the altcoins, looking for opportunities. Whether we go up or down, bearish or bullish, all we want to do is stay one step ahead of the market so that we can capitalize on any of that volatility. And if you appreciate the strategy, subscribe to the channel and click that bell so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, including the live streams at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Guys, if you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Feel free to join the Discord. The Discord is a great community, lots of good alpha, trade setup, fundamentals, and much more. Go check it out. It's a great opportunity. And of course, guys, I'm live at 7:30 Eastern tonight, so don't forget. All right, let's continue. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, XRP, many of these altcoins doing their thing as expected. Tether was still going sideways, thank God, and the rest of them, dipping down to those lower levels as expected and potentially hitting some good buy opportunities. And here on the channel, that's what we focus on, guys, is looking at opportunities. And as I mentioned before, up or down, it doesn't matter. And a lot of us right now are experiencing a bit of a dip. And if you're new to crypto, welcome, because at the end of the day, what you have to be able to endure is both the up and down. And you got to be able to make great decisions on those movements, right? Whether we go up or down, you got to make those decisions. In fact, to be a very successful trader, it's important to understand that you got to make two decisions. It's not just one. You got to make two, and you got to be lucky both times to a degree. You got to have some good skill behind you. You got to have some good patience, some good conviction. Your thesis has got to be really good. And at the end of the day, you got to do it twice, both buying and selling, right? So this is the reality. And right now, I feel like we should be, getting a bit offensive. We were in a bit of a defensive stance, taking those profits. If you've been following me on the channel in the last couple of weeks, I was saying, let's TP, take those profits, protect those gains, trail up the stop loss. Now what I'm talking about is, let's prepare to buy those dips. We're hitting good levels. DCA time, dollar cost average, buy in slowly, look for horizontal supports, look for any signs of divergences to the upside, any indication that we might be getting a bounce anytime soon. This is where you should start deploying. Now, Bitcoin coming down to those lower levels right now, hitting about 26,000. Guys, we're going to take a look at Bitcoin, and then we're going to get into the Hello project and look at the charts. But in the meantime, before we do that, let's go over the general market to see exactly what the overall sentiment is like. And you can see that those dips are real. Like, a lot of them are still coming down. No relief to the upside just yet. A lot of the large caps, we look at Solana, we look at Cardano, even Dogecoin, XRP, all of them 3 to 5%, give or take. Litecoin over 5%. And you can see the overall consensus in the market is even Avalanche, with some bullishness that it's been having lately. A few airdrops being released, a game that is going to be released, pretty good. So a lot of good stuff, and still the market doesn't care. The market wants to come down to those lower levels. So let it happen. Don't try to catch a falling knife. Let it happen. Let it come down. Show us some support, and then we'll scale in with a lot more confidence. And of course, the confidence comes with a certain territory, which is a zone where you feel that you're not taking too much risk. It's all about risk management. So as it comes down, we're trying to find the perfect spot to start deploying where the risk to reward ratio is healthy. And we are pretty much almost there, guys. We're almost there, double bottom type of scenario. We could definitely see a little bit of relief to the upside with regards to a lot of these layer ones. The smaller cap altcoins, of course, have a lot more volatility. We see H-bar coming down to those lower levels, of course. And of course, I cover H-bar significantly because I like the community. I like the strength behind the community. The project is decent, of course. So something to consider. Mantle still grinding to the upside. Quant below that $100 level, guys. Quant below the $100 level for me is a bit of a scary zone. And if we keep on falling, guys, we're going to be looking for buy the dip opportunities at lower levels. We have Filecoin back to the bottom of the range after a quick, swift breakdown. We're down approximately 5.5%. So you can see many of these altcoins, even larger cap to mid cap alts, are still coming down. Look at VeChain down 4%. Optimism, I like VeChain. I think VeChain right now is severely undervalued in my book. I think the sell-off was severe, and I feel like VeChain is still pumping some great stuff. So check out VeChain. I feel like doing a deep dive very soon on VeChain. I know it's a large cap, and I usually focus on small caps, micro cap altcoins, but I want to do one do a deep dive. Speaking of deep dives, guys, I'm going to be starting my deep dive research today. So this is your day to actually chime in. If you want to make a request with regards to which project I should be doing a deep dive, I release a deep dive on Sundays. Okay, today is a day where I start to research bit by bit throughout Friday and Saturday. So if you want to make a request for any projects that you're interested in and you want me to get into some of the details, talking about the tokenomics, the team, some fundamentals, value propositions, all of that good stuff that you want to know about a project, how it works, even it's at its basics, feel free to join the Discord. On the Discord, there is a channel where you can actually make those requests and I'll take them in consideration. Okay, so definitely it's a great learning experience where we are right now. Lots of sideways bearish price action gives us the opportunity to dive deep into some of these projects and truly understand what they're about before we start scaling in. Okay, XDC coming down to those lower levels, 6% to the downside, guys. That retracement is deep. It looks good. Could we come down further? Very possible. I want to put XDC on tonight's live stream list, and of course, guys, the ones that you request, I'll put them in priority. But right now I have XDC on the list and Algorand double bottom, perhaps. Hopefully Algorand holds up with some support right now. 2.4% to the downside as the market looks bearish. Kaspa going sideways. Could this be the scenario? We're at 0.033. Guys, we're very close to entries. We're very close to possibilities. Now, could there be a sweep of the lows? And then I'm going to be getting in heavily back into my Kaspa positions. And I'm waiting for Kaspa to give me that signal. I'm going to be putting Kaspa on the list, and I'm going to be covering Kaspa more frequently, especially on the live stream, because I feel like we need to make sure that we don't miss out on the opportunity. Now, we're going to use Bitcoin as an indicator, because if Bitcoin keeps on dipping, it's likely that Kaspa, tests the bottoms, sweeps the lows, does its thing at the bottom, even creates a lower low and breaks to lower levels. It's very possible, and we're going to identify the possibility maybe tonight. So I'm going to put Kaspa on the list again, just to make sure that we're on track with Kaspa to stay one step ahead of its move that could be up and coming. IMX, I'm interested, 2.7% to the downside. A lot of dips throughout the market today. You can see Rollbit 6% give or take. You can see it's rolling over. 6.5% for Phantom, guys. 6.5% for Phantom, guys. That's a big dip for a larger project. Such bullish project. I like Phantom overall. I'm expecting Phantom to do very well in the up and coming bull run. However, guys, we have to take advantage of these dips. Maybe we'll take a look at Phantom tonight as well. FTM is the ticker. Phantom. Radix, bottom of the range once again. Gate pulling back. Render, making a lower low, guys. Not very bullish. 1.35, guys. And my target is at about $1.20. So Render is another one. Along with Kaspa, I have to keep an eye on Render and Kaspa. These are the two right now that I don't want to miss out on upon the dips. I want to be able to buy into the retracements, into the red, and that way I know I didn't buy tops. In fact, I'm hoping that I can buy the absolute bottoms on those two projects. But you can see, generally speaking, guys, the market is pulling back. A lot of red. We have Rocket Pool looking a bit strong. Sorry, not Rocket Pool. IOTA is looking pretty good, a bit strong, 1.5% to the upside, but still it's not significant. So be careful. If you see any projects that are going against the trend of the market, there's something fundamentally bullish for sure. There's something happening there. Now, of course, you're more than welcome to do that research. Go on the Twitter page, go on the X page, go check it out, see what's going on. But nonetheless, expect a pullback to come, especially if the market continues looking bearish. No bullish price action will basically handle this bearishness that's happening, and especially if Bitcoin as a leading indicator, as the heavyweight of the market, does continue pulling down. So be careful here, guys. It's time to actually be smart about your entries. KuCoin still dipping down another 8.6%. What's happening with KuCoin? Guys, I really do believe it's all about that KYC. We are entering September 1st today. And at the end of the day, as September 1st, or yesterday, was the last day for you to actually make some very important decisions whether you are going to KYC with KuCoin. Now, that's a very important thing because a lot of us want our privacy, and a lot of us that have been around the crypto space before, the notification, are given the privilege of just holding our positions and giving the sell options only and withdrawal. So for me, I kept that option. I left my positions open. I will be selling and I will be withdrawing at any moment when I see some good green price action and I can take some profits on the pump. I'll be taking profits along the way and cashing out on KuCoin. Unfortunate, but my privacy is top priority. All right, guys. Overall, we see dips. We see tons of dips, tons of opportunities. Should we be more patient? I think we should. I think we should expect a further dip into September, a continuation to the downside, and we'll definitely take advantage of it. All right, guys, let's get right into it. I know you're here to talk about charts. Let's begin our analysis on Bitcoin. What's happening here with Bitcoin? Very similar to what the rest of the market is showing us. We got a bit of that dip yesterday, back down to the bottom of the range here on the daily. You can see this consolidation, respecting the consolidation, and we are also, respecting the top of this volume gap right here. Now, should I be altering this whole scenario? You can see that as the price action unfolds and it kind of hesitates around the zone, the VPVR is definitely filling up. So the weak spot is now not so weak, and in fact, the weak spot is also down here a lot more weak. So we got to understand that if we do break down, it's very likely that we hit about 25,000. And if we continue breaking down, my bearish price targets here, guys, it is definitely at lower levels. Now I'm looking at about a $20,000 Bitcoin. For me, that would be epic to see Bitcoin come down there, not because I'm bearish, but just because I have cash on the side, guys. I have cash on the side that I want to buy, I want to deploy, I want to basically DCA at lower levels in preparation for the bull run. So I'm looking at about this level right here. If we can get any entries at about 22,800 and also at about 19,000, I would be happy to start scaling in a bit here and going in absolutely heavy here. Now, that would be the assumption, is that what the market is going to be looking for is a higher low. This being the low, another higher low, accumulation phase, confirmation low, which is a higher low. Very, very bullish ultimately, right? But you can see that we've exited the oversold scenario with some conviction, and we are pulling back. So it doesn't mean that necessarily that we're going to get a nice rally up to the range highs. We could actually, come down again. It's very, very possible. You can see the RSI is still facing upwards. The RSI is still moving to the upside as the price action still goes sideways. That's Class B bullish divergence. So give it some time, guys. As long as we do not break below this cluster, excluding the wicks, which is at about $25,931, give or take, I would say that the bullish divergence is still intact with the price action going sideways and the RSI moving up. What's actually more important, even if the price does come down, is that the momentum, the RSI, continue facing upwards. We want it to kind of continue facing upwards, because that way we're seeing a divergence in comparison to the price, and the volume is consolidating and tightening up. No market participants here are interested in this price action, which I don't blame them, guys. Very sideways, very choppy, very uncertain. So something to consider. And the MACD, being very choppy and basically not giving us a fair deal of a signal, which means that, you might get chopped up. A lot of indecision, a lot of uncertainty, not very clear. So a MACD right now is not a very good indicator for me. But nonetheless, I still feel my bias is to the downside. I still feel like we should be preparing for lower levels. I do feel there's a good chance of us consolidating here before we roll over. Maybe another pump to the upside, and then like this, go back down, maybe another dead cat bounce, and then finally come down to lower levels. Okay, so let's see if this actually plays out as being a bigger distribution phase using Wyckoff or something similar. At the end of the day, a distribution doesn't have to follow the Wyckoff pattern. A lot of people swear by it, but at the end of the day, what we're looking for is signs of sell-offs at peaks, liquidity grabs at the peaks, sweeps of the highs, quick sell-offs, and then coming down and holding support. Eventually, you're going to notice that those whales that are selling and taking profit eventually are going to allow the price to come down to much lower levels. You know why? So that they can buy the dips upon liquidations. All right, guys, let's take a look at hello. Bitcoin is good. I think Bitcoin, is doing its thing in the last little while, and we need to be focusing on a bit of alts. And on the channel, we've been talking about alts significantly, looking at many good projects, Hello being one of them. Now, there's a mixed, rapport with the overall market. Some people like it, some people dislike it. At the end of the day, I don't mind. I trade price action. Fundamentals are great, of course. I like to look at the fundamentals. At least the project is decent. Then I'll be interested. But Hello, I don't see a big deal. It's basically a show that's going to be coming out of this network, Hello, and they're going to be producing a show that is very similar to Shark Tank, but it's going to be crypto related. Now, fundamentally, tokenomics, all of that stuff, guys, of course, it's due for a deep dive. It's definitely due. And speaking of those deep dives, if you want to request a deep dive so I can focus on one of the projects that you're interested in, feel free to join the Discord. The Discord, there's a channel where you can make those requests. But I definitely want to take a look at Hello with a fine-tooth comb and just kind of get used to or get some information with regards to what the project is actually fundamentally about. But nonetheless, guys, I still think it's good. I still think the idea is crisp. I still think that it's going to bring a lot of interest to the masses. We want mass adoption. That's the reality. And if some sort of network on regular television or regular broadcasting or some sort of streaming service or anything like that picks up this idea, it may be a very good catalyst for mass adoption in the up and coming bull run. So there's a good probability. Now, it's all about statistical probability. If there's a chance, why not get some exposure? Now, with regards to price action, we did hit a bit of sideways horizontal resistance, and this is something that I did make very clear. In fact, on the Discord, I do have the chart posted under the Hello section. Go feel free to check that out. These red targets were in there really early on, and these green buy orders, right? These were the zones where I got in and I was thinking of buying a bit more, but my wick did not touch that sell order. I should have front run it a little bit, but that's the name of the game. You don't always get everything you want here in this market. The market doesn't promise anybody anything, and you can see that at least I got into this zone right here. Now, some people might say, especially on the way down, might say, oh, you bought it way too early. Look, it's keep on coming down. But guess what, guys? Patience is key. To match or actually time the bottom is very difficult. Extremely difficult. That's why I DCA, I look for different levels, and I slowly buy in. And you can see overall, after this buy order, yes, it did come down, but we retraced right back to the upside. We got a nice three-wave structure up, and look where we are right now in a net positive scenario. Now, what does that mean for the price action when we are in green, when we're definitely pumping and we get to oversold conditions? Once you get oversold, guys, overbought. Once you get overbought, it is very important that you start considering your risk. You're starting to get into a risky scenario, and this is exactly why I had those red arrows in here to take profit, scale out, take your position, analyze it, figure out, did I make some good gains? What kind of gains are we looking at? Let's do it from green arrow, where I bought in, to where I've been DCAing out, which is in the mid zone. Let's say average about 50% up. Guys, nobody has ever gone broke taking profits, and especially 50% on a position. Okay, guys, that's a great swing trade to the upside. Nothing to complain about here. And overall, now that I've been taking a bit of profit, both my take profit, my TPs, both of them are in a net positive scenario, in the essence that I can take this position that I sold now and I could buy my bag back on the cheap. Well, it's not that much cheaper. I feel like we still can come down to the downside. In fact, in the short term, I still feel like we can break right into this volume gap once again. It's very possible. Why? Because this impulse to the downside was significantly strong. Okay, so we're seeing that the RSI, if you look at the RSI right here, let me zoom in on it, it fell really quickly below the yellow line. Look at the last time it's done that. Okay, really quickly below the yellow line, really quickly below the yellow line. Every time it does that, eventually the yellow line needs to catch up. So something needs to happen at this point. Either the momentum is going to go stagnant here at the 50 zone, which is very possible, similar to what happened here. The RSI went further away from the yellow line, hung out at the 50 zone, which is the chop zone, and gives the yellow line some time to catch up. And in that case, we could see that the price kind of hesitate a little bit around the zone and then let the yellow line basically catch up to lower levels, if that's going to be the case. But the only thing that I can say here on the daily, there's no sign of a bearish divergence. It doesn't have to give it to us, but I would like to see it, but it doesn't have to give it to us. Right now, we're getting a bit of a rejection. What I can say is that the RSI is looking to become sold eventually, to get to the oversold condition, and the MACD is looking bearish AF. EMA is facing down, red histogram bars to the downside. So for me, the probability is that we continue coming down here on the daily and we look for entries once again, and we could buy the dip using these profits. That's the beauty behind trading. That's the beauty behind having a short-term spot position where you want to get in and out of the market so that you can pack a bigger bag for the bull run. Okay, let's get into the 4 hour to see exactly what's happening, and if we need to, we'll come back to the daily to make some, basic confirmations here. You can see that the 4 hour is definitely in oversold conditions. The MACD, EMAs are facing down, red histogram bars. No signs of bullish divergence just yet. Are we at horizontal levels of support? Not quite. It's not very clear. I would like a little bit lower, maybe down to about 0.042 would be nice. Look at all the supply and demand here that could act as support. We're falling below that 200 EMA on the 4 hour, so which means that it's very likely that we get closer to the point of control, which again is at about 0.04. Something like that, right around this zone. Now, what I would really like to see is a bullish divergence here. I would like to see the RSI kind of hesitate here. Give me some data. Give me some indication that the bears are done. I want to see the bullish divergence. So lower lows on the price action, double bottoms, something like that. And give me a nice reversal pattern right here where we start to see higher lows and higher highs. And at the end of the day, I want to see the RSI trend upwards while the price action either goes sideways or trends to the downside. That starts to give me an indication that maybe the bears are showing some weakness and that the bulls could be stepping in at any moment. Then I'm going to be looking for horizontals, which we're almost there. We have some good levels of horizontal, and as we get to that zone, I'm going to be sniping in more clearly on the horizontal. In fact, right now it's not bad. A bit of a horizontal entering this zone with lots of supply and demand to act as support. It could even come as low as slightly below the 0.04, but 0.04 is not bad. I'm interested if we get down to that level. Nonetheless, here guys, it would be very healthy to expect hello to get a bit of a pump to the upside and confirm this top, whether it be a double top, a higher low, a lower low, whatever it is. We need some data to suggest yes, it's done. Now, what would happen there? We'll build a bit of conviction. On the 4 hour, we'll get a little bit of that pump, get back to over bought conditions. And then if you look back on the daily, it would give you the best risk to reward ratio to actually start getting into a short. One spike to a TP like this, one blow off top, one railroad track, straight up, straight down price action type of thing, one rejection is usually not enough. Okay, it's usually not enough. And if you noticed in the past, you can go see, it does happen where you get blow off tops and railroad tracks, but it's not enough. Even here, like for example, let's move over to a zone, like even if we use the biggest one that we can see, it's not really a railroad track, but you get what I mean. We get multiple opportunities to get back into trades. Look at this railroad track, a little bit of a railroad track, and then we get a wick to the upside where people took advantage of it. So basically what I'm saying is if we get right back to the top based on the 4 hour pump that I just showed you, the daily is still looking bearish. What you're going to do is go with the trend of the daily, use the 4 hour as an indication for entry, and use the 4 hour only when the 4 hour gets overbought once again to go short. Now you can get into a long position right now here on hello and be prepared for this long. However, guys, just anticipate that the daily is looking bearish. Okay, that's the thing. You're going against the daily momentum, which if you're going against a trend, it's not really, your friend in that case. So be very, very careful. So hello's looking pretty good, but I still feel that this market's pushing down. Today, hello is down approximately 11.5%, guys. So it has been coming down significantly. I'm expecting a bit of relief on the 4 hour and then a continuation down on the daily. All right, guys, thank you for stopping by. If you haven't yet, do the channel a huge favor. Slap that like button. It does really help out with the algorithm. If you want to follow me on the socials, the links are in the description below. Join the Discord, guys. Great community, lots of alpha, trade setups, fundamentals. There's lots of learning material there for those of you that are new to the space. And of course, guys, see you tonight at 7:30 Eastern, where we talk about crypto news and price action. Take care, guys. Have a good one. And don't forget, buy the dip.